they pay their fees and all of that. Even the argument for those in support of that bill was that it is subsidized. Education is a lot subsidized in Nigeria compared to some of these countries where they pay through their noses to get, their medical degrees and all of that. That's a conversation for another day because they have a lot of incentive student loan, which we've also introduced. Yes, I know you want to use that as an argument. However, people didn't buy that. The latest is that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the national policy on health workforce migration to address the challenges facing Nigeria health human resources. The coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Pate, disclosed this on his X handle yesterday. He said the policy is more than just a response to the ongoing exodus of healthcare professionals, but a comprehensive strategy to manage, harness, and reverse health workers' migration. Pate says this afternoon the President in Council approved the landmark policy set to transform healthcare human resource management in Nigeria. The National Policy on Health Workforce Migration addressed the critical challenge facing Nigerian health human resources. As the AU champion for Human Resource for Health and Community Health Delivery Partnership, Mr. President's commitment to a resilient and robust healthcare system is powerfully reflected in this forward-looking policy. And many Nigerian healthcare workers leave the country for greener pastures, leaving their colleagues to contend with additional workloads and extended work hours. So the push factor, according to them, are inadequate equipment, worsening insecurity, poor working condition, poor salary structure. The minister noted that central to this vision is the Nigerian Human Resource Program, health program that is, which sets a framework for regular review of working condition, ensuring that health workers, especially in rural and undeserved areas, receive the recognition and reward that they deserve. I know it does sound like grammar. Yeah, it just sounds like, some flowery words that you always hear. And it doesn't quite explain what the detail is, but it's one to interrogate what the policy encompasses, to saying, what are you talking about? Are you talking about remuneration for them? Are you talking about working condition for them? Are you talking about the equipment and all that they need to work? Because some of them are so frustrated. Imagine you want to do an important surgery or attend to someone who's dealing with some aspect of cancer and you can't find, I was surprised some years back. We were talking with a doctor and we said, we keep telling women, go and check for breast cancer and you don't have mammograms in different parts of the country. You have to travel to one state for, specialized tests to be done and all of that. It's insane. I mean, I remember the height of the tests we're doing for COVID and which outbreak, we had one outbreak after that. They said they have to take samples outside Nigeria. Like, these are some of the things you think as a giant of Africa we should have. So for some people, a lot of factors contribute to them just wanting to leave the big picture of what's happening in the country, because no matter how comfortable you are wherever you work, you get to feel the pressure of what's happening in the country. If the insecurity is there, people are groaning about cost of living, it's inevitable. You get to wear that weight around you also. And then in their line of duty also, the constraints and the challenges that they have to grapple with. I mean, human life. I've been to the hospital and I know how livid we were, the doctors and the health workers, when we lost someone that was there to us. I mean, I didn't even want to even think about whatever challenge they were grappling with. I didn't want to know if they had enough nurses, they had enough doctors, even though there was evidence that they did not have enough hands. I mean, I and some of my colleagues had to be moving, when we lost our colleague when she was in the hospital, we had to be moving her ourselves. And you start to think, don't they have people to do all of this who are trained and know that if someone's had, a major accident that's caused major trauma, that you need to be handled professionally? But no, there was no one. We had to do it in a way, we'll take this one here. We had to take the person for the scan and all of that until, death claimed her. It saw the lapses. And then sometimes you just want to oh no, this shouldn't have happened. But then they also have their own challenge that they are grappling with that has brought about some level of carelessness and nonchalancy and to a certain degree ineptitude also that is grappling with. So it's a complex situation. Anything to keep our health workers, anything to make them comfortable, anything to make their work environment conducive, because we're talking about human life, a fragile situation where it should not be a case of if they want to go, they should go. We have plenty doctors already, or some of them can go into farming. It's very disrespectful for people who are putting so much time, effort. I mean, the academic work that goes into becoming either a medical doctor or even a nurse. Nurses too are going through a lot. Another, health workers, the pharmacists and the likes of that. So it's a good thing that we're coming up with a policy to saying it's not draconian. It doesn't sound like it, like, oh, you must stay back 5 years because somehow education is cheaper. No, but you have to look at what is the trigger, what's the push factor that we're losing so many hands. I don't want to repeat the name of the person who said it, but I shared this story sometime back where I went to the hospital. I had someone I care so much about who was sick, and there was one particular nurse who was outstanding. She was like hands-on, she was everywhere, she was professional. And then someone said to her, that you're too good to be in Nigeria. Look at only you outstanding, ensuring that this person in terms of their medicine, checking up as I went, that you should just leave the country. And I was livid with the person. I'm like, how can you say that? The one decent nurse you have in this hospital, you're advising her to japa. So we should even stop giving unnecessary advice. I know you mean it, you mean well, like, you're too good for this country. Nothing is working, leave this country. We are using our mouth to chase our professionals also. So perhaps you need to stop doing that if you're one of those guilty of doing it. I was really like, how can you tell the only nurse that we've been praising since we came to this hospital that she's outstanding, she's excellent, she's young, she had the energy, she's passionate about her job. She was very thorough about when the injections, the drugs and all of that. And you're telling her you are recommending countries that would appreciate her. We know she's underappreciated. She knows she's underappreciated. You don't need to tell her again. And we now lose the good nurse. Then you go back to the hospital the next time and you see only the grumpy ones. All right. I don't have a guest with me. I don't want to go on and on. I'm very, when it comes to health sector, it can be very emotional if you've had to be in the hospital, you've had sick people or loved ones that you've had to sit weeks, going on months in the hospital. You understand why it's absolutely important that we balance when it comes to the narrative of our healthcare workers that live in the country. Feel free to join the conversation. So it is that the president has approved policy to retain medical experts within the country. Now, I don't have all of the detail of the policy just yet. There's plenty grammar on the surface, but I would love to hear from you. What do you think is the best way to retain our medical experts in Nigeria? For them to appreciate what they do, because I know they take their oaths. Life is something they prioritize beyond every other thing. But I mean, you can't tell a hungry doctor or a doctor who's struggling to pay his rent, or maybe they've kidnapped one of his loved ones to do, much. They're humans also, or a nurse or a pharmacist or any of them that work in that line of work. So let us know what you think should be contained in this policy to keep our health experts within the country. 0700 951 0000 or 0809 5974 This is just one story. Don't forget we're on Facebook and YouTube at Nigeria Info ABJ. Hello.
Hello, Madam. How are you?
I greet you, sir. Welcome to the show.
Good evening, ma. This is Destiny Anthony.
It's still afternoon, Destiny. That's why we used to take afternoon to 6 p.m. it's just 20 minutes after 3, Destiny Anthony. If people want to delete afternoon in Nigeria, you're welcome.
Leave me alone.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I had the issue you're raising. On the 1st of this month, I lost a neighbor.
Oh, dear.
They woke me up around 6 a.m., rushed them to the hospital. Let the pieces are aware. And Kim, they were using this Peace Hospital in Pua. The service, what I saw there that day, honestly, if not that I know a few nurses and doctors who are committed, who are passionate about, their job, and they are doing their best to save life with, the little that is available. Honestly, I will not, even if as I am now, I'm dying, nobody should take me to that hospital. I drove somebody who was already in coma to that Peace Hospital for over 10 minutes. They were there standing. Nobody wanted to come and help me to carry the woman with the husband to there was no stretcher. How can you use wheelchair to, push somebody into emergency? somebody who she doesn't have strength to support herself until she had to mess her body up there. So for me, I just feel like I don't know whether they got that reaction because the person is an who is using this NHIS, what do you call it, the health insurance patient. Maybe they don't pay them well. I do not know. Nothing professional until it was late when they now referred us and we rushed to Kuba General Hospital. It was late. At least when I got to Kuba General Hospital, the way they responded, you could see the swiftness of the male nurse. They have rolled that stretcher, rushed to my car, and then they were able to gather and at least showed us how to carry somebody so don't injure the person more. And then they pushed her in, and there was nothing they could do until she passed on. For me, Kim, I think I will blame the frustration as well on the system. If we want to keep them, Kim is frustrating because when that woman was passing on, I saw 2 doctors walking past by. What do you expect? I didn't see, I don't know if they have, please, let me not say, I don't know if the whether they have this, what do you call this thing that they used to kickstart heart if it stopped? Defibrillator or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have the other oxygen. So I know they have oxygen, but there is one other one that is like Max that can even help the patient as well to take in the oxygen to the lungs to be able to, continue, to sustain the person. So I don't know, because that's why I felt like if you don't have those equipment around in the hospital and somebody, passes on. Kim, if you watch the little video on some of these documentaries that they do abroad, that is reality, this thing, you find out that even when somebody looks like he has given up, you see some attempt to kick out his heart again, get some oxygen to the lungs, at least look for a way to support the person until the person's system can continue. I feel like the system is frustrating them. You don't keep a doctor. Yes, you didn't go to medical school to study just to use syringe and needle and that thing that they hand on the neck is his status, they call it, just to help lives.
All right.
You know there are equipment that you need to support you, to help you save lives. But it's frustrating if they don't have things. Why wouldn't you go to where you have all those things and you do the best that you can and you'll be appreciated? And secondly, their take home here is nothing to write home about. Kim, I know doctors who earn less than 100,000. Less than 100K. I'm not talking of a nurse, a medical doctor. So why will you spend that number?
Yes, I can understand.
And money, and it's frustrating. Pay them well, remunerate them, take care of them. Some of them, they've not collected the COVID allowance. I hope you do. Why wouldn't they leave?
All right.
Thank you, my dear.
Thank you very, very much. I can understand how we can get very, emotional about some of these issues, but they are real. I actually get emotional when I talk about health in Nigeria. Hello. Or the healthcare sector, that is. Hello. Hello. Elder, is that you? Oh. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, you're welcome to the show. What's your name, sir?
My name is Lassie. Agree Mazi Destiny Anthony. And to call. I'm talking about this health sector. Most especially, I want to start with NHS. I see it as a scam. The only NHS.
Nigeria Info's I Beg to Differ Tournament of Champions is underway with twists, fixtures, and champions from across Nigeria.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info. This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
Our tournament of champion continues today. You heard it, Tommy Bernard, 4 p.m. and our very own Chimere Berebe at the 5 o'clock hour. Don't forget, it'll be live here, and you can also join on YouTube and Facebook to vote and support the debaters also alongside what the judges are doing. Still the roundtable. We started off talking about health. The president approving policy to retain medical experts within the country. And Salasi was on the phone while we were rudely interrupted. You're still here? Oh, great. Amazing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm still waiting.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
No, what I say about the NHIS, I say sorry to say that NHIS is just like the only thing they can provide for you for NHIS is paracetamol. Once it's beyond paracetamol, they will say, go outside, go and get the medicine outside. I wasn't feeling too good this afternoon. I have to go to a clinic. And in fact, the nurse wasn't even serious. She was busy watching films. I said, to me now, see me here. And for this is a busy one. She now said, sorry, sir, before she could attend to me. And what I even have to go outside to go and buy the drugs by myself. So this the situation HIS people to come to your radio station so that Nigeria will call them and the payment, just like what President Anthony is not encouraging. And these big men, they don't care if anything happen now. Air problem, person will just get aircraft to United Kingdom. This problem, and what people are going through. People are going through some cases, some other. You won't even have access to all this thing. This is the giant of Africa. We call ourselves the giant. See, people are going, go to the hospital again. You see going through. It's not encouraging at all. So people do their time. Honestly, it's not everything that we call Allah. Sometimes it's the negligence of our medical sector.
All right, thank you very much, Asi, for that. Let's throw in another report, another story. And to just let you know, all leaving former presidents and heads of state are expected to converge on the Aso Rock Villa Abuja noon today. Apparently, they are and right there in the meeting as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu convened the council meeting. I remember it of the end bad governance protest. Some people suggested that the president should call a state meeting and get advice from heads of states in the country to how to better manage the city things, because then the demand was high, finance issue, hunger issue, and all of that. Perhaps spoke with the former lead from heads of state, rub minds with them, and see the best way to forge ahead. So he's taking that into consideration. The meeting is ongoing as we and it's the first assuming office for President Tinubu. Members will discuss recent events, particularly the end bad governance for the economy will also be one of the top in the food hunger situation in the country. It's a very important conversation they do as much as they will look at national security. So it comes 18 months after the last met on the 10th of February 2020 under former President Muhammadu Buhari. By the time Buhari had convened the meeting of the 2023 election, the crisis from the new Naira policy and diversity. Sources with knowledge of the meeting agenda said that President and his predecessor would discuss 7 key issues. Now, the source who spoke on condition of anonymity was that the president would make presentation act the nationwide process as it affects national security and state of the economy. The president will also discuss security. So 7 key points and the protest. We're talking yesterday and asking if you felt the protest had any impact. The fact that we're having a Council of State meeting called and held, that the president is still talking about it, see that he just didn't take that one line down, it's one of those protests, it will fizzle out. He understands the gravity of what it means for different parts of the country to be shut down. Curfews were imposed on streets of areas. At one point, the target was in the south because like the organization of it was not coming. But then the element of surprise from parts and how people came out showing that in different things they are hungry, it must have rattled people enough to pay attention to it. And then the flag waving, be it the armed forces or the Russian flag, whatever, the fact that green, white, green in solidarity with the government is indicative of how bad the situation is. And government that takes that one or treats it is doing it at his or detriment. So it's something a lot of people have spoken at what message that sent. The fact that we've had, Francophone countries, we've seen coup d'etat and subtly or surreptitiously trying military come over and stop that. You need to pay attention to all of those signs. And the President Tinubu, it's a neophyte. No be JJC, he and all of these things. So, make Council of State to talk about this very critical as to how to best situation. I know, Dr. Majid, when we're talking, they said beyond the protest, which is organized, a timeline of what's going to happen and when it's going to end, is the social rest that can come out of it. That one, there is no planning, there is no time, there's no conversation as to, so you need to be sure to prevent it by taking certain actions. And I want to believe the president wants to rub mind with his predecessors and other heads of state to see how best to manage this situation. We'll get more detail as to the outcome of the Council of State meeting. Expected head of state, Mohamed Buhari, even though he says don't call him for anything, but he has to come out, sir. Good luck, Jonathan, Yakubu Gowon, Olusegun Obasanjo, Abdulsalami Abubakar, Ibrahim Babangida. Somehow I'm sure they would take Babangida there. I know that he's been dealing with so much, but strong enough to attend the Council of State meeting. The president would like I mentioned, 7 key areas: state of the economy, food security, availability and affordability of food. That one is in the agri sector, consolidating gains in the solid mineral sector. Then you also talk about renewed hope in budgeting and planning for sustained development. Then renewed hope in the road sector and leading a strong industrial base for transformational growth. Some of the areas in which the president will be having a conversation with the former heads of state in the country. What do you hope will come out of it? Well, let's talk about that and more. 0700 951 0000, 0809 5974 869 or 0809 9930 137. Remember, we're on Facebook and YouTube at Nigeria Info Abuja on Facebook and at Nigeria Info Abuja on YouTube. Please feel free, leave your message, leave your thought. I'll read as many of them as possible. Yes, you're welcome. Bode, good to hear from you.
You talk about it. Before those who are passing this policy, they patronize our hospitals. President itself, which hospital is using in this country presently? It be told, Kim, just like what you said, right health and education. I'm always emotional. Kim, what is the if you go to general hospital now, you are guaranteed that as an employer, you will get an insurance that you can get a house of your own, and your children's education will not get challenged. If you go to the hospital, you need an estimate. Kim, as I'm talking to you now, hi, buddy. My daughter is about 14 now. So the inception of Nanya General Hospital, there is no escape. I don't need to install it now. I've been talking about this. Kim, if you go to the primary health care, what do you see? The budget that is made available. How is government spending those budget that if they are being used judicious? The past and present ministers of health, how have they been fair to the hospitals, to the workers? How encouraging their pay. As soon as the men end, are they sure of their payment? Continue 3D. Anybody who has the opportunity of living under as a medical doctor, we can't hold him back. We can just encourage. Kim, last year, I was in, if you allow me to say it, hello?
Anybody, go ahead.
Yeah, Kim, if you allow me to say it. If not for the PPP arrangement, General Hospital, I don't know how it would be. Last year I was alive. To the best of my knowledge, I've never been to a general hospital. I went there. To God be the glory. I met doctors who are up and doing. What would have happened if that was the time that's right. I think that May. Is that really May 15? If not for the PPP arrangement, what would have happened to General Hospital? And people are still planning to make sure it gets taken away from the man. He will not need to be done. But he does the eye and does the key. If you don't do the right thing, you can't stop anybody who wants to stick in that picture. King, we have been in that office for a long time. If not for the encouragement, we would have been there. We should ask ourselves, the leaders who are saying this after who are saying that policy, we should ask themselves if they've been fair to this country. King, good afternoon.
Thank you very much, buddy. Good afternoon to you. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Kim.
Good afternoon. You're welcome.
My name is Henry.
We're listening, sir. Go ahead, Henry.
You see, you cannot be treating malaria when you are having typhoid, or you cannot be treating headache when you are having waist pain. Nigerian leaders, they know what the problem is. They know where to handle. They know what to do. They just don't want to do it. When they travel out in other climes of this world, you see them behaving like normal citizens. You see them behaving well. But when they come back to Nigeria, they behave like they are emperors. This is the way they are ruling us in this country. One, they say go and vote. We vote. If we want to protest because the government is not doing us well, they come against us. What do they really want from us as Nigerians? Have we not tried enough? Have you the one who could cry? Go on the street and see what people are going through. People cannot even see the people run. Haba, this is too much now. They should have, at least let them have pity. The only time we see them is when they want to contest for election. And they win. Nobody sees them again. I'm not talking about just the president. I'm talking about our senators. I'm talking about our member House of Reps. I'm talking about our governors. From the grassroots, they don't even care. Look at the huge security they're carrying around. And look at how people are insecure. This is too much. Let Nigerian leaders, let them see that at least if their money, they don't pass. You don't do. Let them do the right thing. It's okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's look at some messages. Let's see if we have any on our YouTube page at Nigeria Info Abuja. David Bako. I see you, David. Says hello. I say hi to you, David. And on Facebook. All right. Nothing on Facebook. That's very unusual. All right. Then let's go to WhatsApp. Government must improve in the welfare and allowances of the doctors, nurses, and other health workers to encourage them to stay back because we have the money. Otherwise, Japa is the answer where they should be taking good care of. Dekan Emmanuel Kudiliede from Madala sent that one in. Destiny Haba, no doctor collects less than 100,000 naira. I know it just sounds unbelievable, yeah? On less than 100K, medical doctor who put time through medical school. But, there are a lot of fantastic stories all around happening that some of them will just blow your mind when you hear that. Good afternoon, Kim. How are you doing today? Trust you are fantastic. Yes, I'm good. Thank you very much. This jackpot of our medical professional is really becoming on the very high side. I know 3 or 4 of my friends who have jackpot simply because their pay here is nothing to write home about. At the detriment of patients who at one point or the other need their services, I pray this new policy of retaining them here in Nigeria comes to stay. Joe Wachuku Inapo, are you my brother from the same father? I doubt it, but hey, we share the same soul name. Please tell us what is unique about the new health bill signed by Mr. President. Please educate us on how it will improve the health sector. Sean Adiogo from Gwarimpa, it's a policy. I don't have all of the detail just yet, but he said that he signed it to see how they can retain medical doctors. So it's one to look for and understand what policy direction they're taking in this instance. It's not a legislation. It's saying, this is what our government is going to do to renew the hope of healthcare workers, to assuage whatever fears they have, build their confidence enough to stay back and work in Nigeria. And I think on top of the list, if the president decides to take his medical leave or treatment and all of that here, will further boost the morale of the health workers. But I don't want to bet my paycheck on that just yet. Mazi Destiny Anthony Salasi is right. NHIS looks like a scam, but I think government hospitals will ask you to buy the right drug outside, but private hospitals resort to using cheapest drug because they want to maximize profit. I think that's what cost my neighbor's wife her life. Treated malaria for 2-3 days with no improvement after all the tests she did. Now she's left 4 kids behind. Really sad indeed. May her soul rest in peace. Tragic situation there. In as much as everyone has a right to express any kind of opinion, either by verbal or written means, it's worthy to know that all these past Nigerian leaders were never super leaders when it comes to ideal leadership. And then Tinubu must struggle to convince Nigerians that meeting these past leaders is for the good of the masses, not for himself. After all, he blamed all of them for the woes of the country. As for me, it's just a way of getting these people to his side. However, I don't think anyone can extract a healthy tooth from a rotten mouth. Tinubu has nothing more than what he's been offering Nigerians since he came into office. Chiemeka Edwin from Mabuchi's take there. Please ask Mr. President, making unrealistic promises to the medical personnel, that can he and his family receive their treatment at the Aso Rock? Let him equip the hospital first, raise the standard of working condition on the hospital first, and stop all of these promises. They don't mean what they say, neither ready to do them in future. Pastor TJ Oludade from Dubai is having none of it. Hello.
Hello, Auntie Kimberly.
You're welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon to you.
All the callers and listeners of this radio station. This is Donald calling from Niger State.
We're listening.
Auntie, I'm Donald calling from Niger State.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Thank you very much. I think it's a work-on development, calling the past leaders. And I don't know, are they the one that called for the meeting, or is Mr. President
Now, the president will call for a meeting, a council of state meeting, to say, senior boys, please gather around. I've got issues. I need your advice and input.
I think this is the time for them to tell themselves the truth. Because Obasanjo has said, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo has said that with that number, that Nigeria is still in the time bomb. You understand? I think they should do what they will do so that the country will be a peaceful place for us to live. If not, to me, I think something may happen. Something may happen even more than the protest. Look at the way people are vandalizing government property. So people are taking government as if it's their enemy. And no, government is not your enemy. No government is bad in the whole world. It's only the policy and the leadership that is bad. You understand? I think they should tell Mr. President, this direction you are going, I don't think that it will work for this country. That's my take. God bless Nigeria.
God bless Nigeria. Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello, Kim. Good afternoon.
Welcome to the show.
It's Chuck calling from Gabi right now.
Chuck, been a minute. Welcome.
All right, thank you. Kim, I am in the health sector, so what Salasi was crying about is actually the proceed of greed. Will I say, did I get the English right? Our health workers very greedy. When I mean greed, they are very, very greedy. In the sense that when you get to the hospital, these drugs we call cheap drugs are the ones that they are going to ask companies or ask vendors to supply, and they will put the drugs at a very high price inside the hospital. And then when they want to take the drugs, they will come outside looking for a better drug outside to buy. I mean, is it not shame on the NAFDAC that there are some drugs that are cheaper and they are regarded as cheaper drugs? And again,
why you were talking chalk. I didn't want to look at it as shame on cheaper drugs. I expect that we should have drugs that are potent, effective, and affordable. I don't know what cheap means, because some people can still not afford them.
It's shame to the NAFDAC. It's NAFDAC that is supposed to know which drug meet up the specifications that they put on, that people are importing or people are producing. So for somebody to tell me that the drugs they give in the hospital is not effective, it means that NAFDAC has failed in their work. Because it's NAFDAC that's supposed to give us the standard. And they must follow the standard. They shouldn't be greedy in looking at, this man is my brother, is my friend, he can import and allow him. Then this man is not my friend, he must obey it's unfair. Under normal circumstances, if I am a NAFDAC DG, there will be brand. Everybody will produce the same thing. No brand. So that anywhere you go, you get the same drug, you get the same thing and take, whether in the hospital or outside the hospital. Imagine now, you get to the hospital, they will pack drugs and give you take it, finish, you come out, you're still sick. Then you now go, if them that are giving the drugs in the hospital, I'm not saying all the hospitals, but majority of our public hospitals, then they are giving it, won't even take what they are giving to their patients. They will come outside to buy it. I mean, the health sector, I will tell you the truth. That's what they are doing. And the greed is too much. The greed is too much. Imagine NHIS, a lot of people put their resources together to solve the very few that are sick. And those drugs, you won't even see them. If I'm in NHIS now, maybe in a whole year I will not fall sick. But in my salary every year, they will be taking the money. Then the day I will finally fall sick, or my ward, or my children, or my wife will fall sick, he get to hospital, he will still get that drop. But every day they are taking millions of people's contributions to make sure that the health sectors are doing well. There are some things they tell, we did not cover this thing, we did not cover this. This kind of sickness are not covered in NHIS. Then what is the essence of NHIS? What is actually, what are we doing?
All right.
It's actually unfair and it's painful.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate your input. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Roundtable.
Thank you very much. My name is David from Federal and Lugbe.
We're listening, sir.
Yeah.
We did hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Did I hear you say former President Buhari was in a Council of State meeting?
Well, Council of State meeting is made up of former heads of state, so yes, well within his right to be there.
You know why I'm asking? Because the past, when Jonathan was in government, was 6 years, the former president did not even think fit to attend Council of State meeting. But when he was the president of Nigeria, Jonathan attended the Council of State meeting. I don't know why. Jonathan, when he was the president for good 8 years, Jonathan will be there attending that Council of State meeting. But Buhari, for 6 years when Jonathan was the president, did not, even if they invite, he will not even go.
Is that there's the list of our problem at this point in time? Who you invited and didn't show up?
Pardon?
That's the list of the concern of Nigerians at this very moment, this material time.
I'm expressing my concerns. Why is he attending this time? Because in the past, even the Buhari, the Basenjo time, hardly would you see Buhari in Council of State meeting. Not to talk about the one of Jonathan. So why is he attending this one? If he's actually is there. Honestly, I don't know why our elders, our leaders, they're trying to show that sentiment. Because I believe that is why he refused to attend when Jonathan was the president. He refused. He did not even once. Did not even go. So it was a very sad situation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Hello.
Good afternoon, Sister Kim.
Good afternoon, sir.
God, Mr. Pius called from my team.
Go ahead, Mr. Pius.
God bless the caller, Mr. Chok from who spoke on from the angle of a head worker. Sister Kim, just like that man has said, the NADAP DG, actually, I don't know what he was doing. He or she is doing there. The potency of our drugs now is very, very low compared to what it was in 2015. 2015 drug, you buy drugs at that time. You feel the impact. I'm talking as a patient now. I'm suffering from eye problem. And just on cataract, to get a good eye drop to combat it, it has been a very, very tough. I complained to Sasfat for some time. And she told me that she's going to put the drugs I'm looking for up till now. I've not gotten it. The quality of the drugs that the NADAC is approving is very, very low. Very, very low. It's not up to standard. That brother is telling us the truth. So the NADAC DG should sit up. And then going to our Council of State meetings. Thank God our presidents have called the former leaders. But just like the last caller said, our former president, he has never attended Council of State meetings. This one he's attending. What is he going to offer there? But I hope that the former leaders, they should tell our president that he should look into how he's going to bring down the cost of transportation so that the cost of goods, most especially food items, will go down. Thank God, with this morning we heard about CNG buses that he has rolled out. My prayer is that I pray that it will stand the test of time. That this cost of transportation especially on food items. Gari, beans, that small. I hope somebody should go and show him that small plate that's being sold for 3,000 naira. And one of our callers has told us, he's always hammering on this platform. All right, people should go and hustle, people should go and do this, people should go and do that. Nigerians, everybody is hardworking, but the policy of government is bad. And that is what is taking food away from our table.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, don't forget, we'll be wrapping up any minute now to set the stage for the I Beg to Differ debate, the Battle of Champions Day 2, where Samuel Etomi, one of the third winner from here in Abuja, I think the second runner for our Abuja debate, and also Chimerema Eberebe will be representing Abuja, the debate today. We'll start with Etomi Bernard, 4 o'clock, and Chimerema Eberebe will be on at 5 o'clock. It's something to stay close to your radio for. Yesterday was intense with Excel emerging as the debater of the day yesterday. Sadly, Cindy Paul Onyeka is out of the national debate as a point tally. Unfortunately, she had to be excused. She did great, but boy, oh boy, it's a national, so there's a lot of intensity to the argument and the debate and the points that we put out there. So we'll be we'll be setting the stage at the studio for the debate in a bit. Let's run through some of the comments quickly. Paul Casey from Garki International Market. I'm not expecting anything different from that meeting. All of them there know the main problem facing us in this country, but I like to play the ostrich. This is just to inform you that the online channel is down. Oh, it is? Sorry about that. Now I know. I will let the tech guys know. Calling the meeting of past president is nothing until you bring back subsidy and open border for food to enter. What about people who are hanging flags of different countries in their cars? What about those hotels and schools here in Abuja that hang and fly flags of different countries in their premises? Why didn't the police arrest them? The police will always have intel against the masses protesting for hunger and hardship, but would never have an intel against Boko Haram bandits and kidnappers. They can only confuse the gullible ones. Tinubu must address the hardship the masses are going through now, and if he fails to do that, then what's coming next will be a shocker. Yodele Stanley. Well, we understand that they have presence of international communities, and those approved places where you get to see the presence of this country, that they are partners or stakeholders, their flags will fly. Nigerian flag is flying there boldly. Did you see anybody having Nigerian flag alongside, the military flag or anything? It was obvious that there was an agenda to that, and it was not an ignorant one, as some would say. The president hosting the Council of State is in order, but I'm just hoping that he would heed to any suggestion they make. We may call them names, but they will be remembered for some good things they've done. Mohammed Musa from Garki. Talk by senior voice. I didn't know senior voice. Okay, what you raise concerning health sector is pathetic. If the head is bad, it trickles down. You would hardly see human behave well, except they see examples from their leaders. If leaders amass wealth, the citizens follow suit. If leaders become selfish, everyone wants to be that too. Calling former president before we can move on in the country is an insult to me. If they die, we go to their grave for advice OGB1. Well, there's the place and provision for Council of State to saying, come and bring your knowledge, your expertise, your thought on these issues and see how we can forge ahead. It's not the very first. I don't see it as, an insult, but you're entitled to your opinion. That's how you feel. Your feeling is valid. If President Tinubu won't listen to President Obasanjo, Emeka Nyoko, and the Patriots, so will he listen to the advice of the former president, Seun Adeagbo from Gwarimpa State there? Kim, Nigeria is a society where anything you go, you see those in government and those in opposition, they're all equal, says Oludade Abiodun. The president calls the likes of Buhari and co for a meeting for the way forward. I laugh in Swahili. Imagine someone like the former president who just sank Nigeria, being called upon for useful advice on the way forward. I don't see much coming out of Gabros from Lube. Well, if you don't think highly of him, there are others who are coming. So hopefully something good will come out of the meeting. Cost effectiveness is the right word for the drug. Some drugs are cheaper and effective. All medication can be the same price due to factor of production. I'm a pharmacist and entrepreneur. Emeria from Lube is putting things in perspective. There's a fallacy of generalization that your caller said they're greedy does not apply to every healthcare workers. OKJ. Well, I quite agree with you. Please help me contact the man that called on your show now about having eye problem, as my church is giving free eye surgery and treatment. All right, sir, you can send us a message via WhatsApp, and I would link you with the guy who says his church can help out with the eye situation. Okay, so just send us a message via WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp number is 0809-9930-137, and we'll see how we get you guys in touch. If Council of State meeting was held during Buhari's time, then it's safer not to expect anything after this one. If Council of State meeting, go ahead, I read that one. The medical profession is not a career, it's a vocation. And whoever doesn't have the temperament shouldn't be there. It's not a job for people to use as placeholders. CSO meeting needs to beg the president to be empathic towards the people, because a man who has nothing to lose can be dangerous. Sure. All right, then. Bivan is seated for the news, and after the news, we'll set the stage for day 2 of our Battle of Champions. Stay with 95.1 Nigeria Info.
Information.
This is Nigeria Info.